$100 million Offers is the most downloaded business book of the last 3 years. And millions of info business owners read it, but most of them failed within 6 months. Not because the book is wrong. Alex Hormozi is a billionaire and obviously the framework works. But they failed because the book assumes you already have something in place that you probably don't. Something Hormozi spent years building in his gyms before he ever wrote a single offer. If you skip this foundation, your $100 million offer becomes a 100K failure. You maybe make some sales, if at all, but then you drown in delivery and you wonder why scaling destroys your profit margins. In the next few minutes, I will show you what the book doesn't cover, why that missing piece determines whether Hormozi Frameworks works for you or doesn't, and the exact 3 steps to build it so that everything in your $100 million offer actually works. The problem isn't your offer, it's what comes before. Let me explain. You read the book, you build the value stack, you made it sound insane on paper, you launched it and it sold. For a moment, it felt like you finally figured it out. And then reality hit. You had customers, but instead of momentum, everything got heavier. People start asking questions that you didn't expect. Delivery took way longer than you planned. It feels super one-on-one, support exploded. Then refunds are creeping in, churn is happening, people are leaving, you have to sell again on the front end, and your launch just fades out and you are drowned in everything. So from the outside, it looks like you were scaling, but on the inside, you are barely keeping your head above water. And that's not because your offer was bad. On paper, it's $10,000 of value for $997. But in practice, it was you selling a dream without having a scalable way to deliver results to your clients. And your courses have low completion rates and even lower success rates. Your clients are churning. You try to leverage yourself with coaches so that you don't have to coach everyone, or you hire success managers, but they either are not strong enough or they leave to build their own business. And this took me way too long to understand because Hormozi doesn't really talk about this step. Not because it's not important, but because for him, it already existed. He ran gyms for years before he ever wrote a book. He already knew how to get people results in the most effective and efficient way. He knew exactly what had to happen on day 1, what mattered in week 2, and what success looked like 3 months in. Only after that did he turn it into an irresistible offer. Most people do it the other way around, and that's where things break. What the book assumes is that you already know how to serve each client on the highest level in a personalized way, scalably at minimal cost to your business. And most people don't. I didn't, and if you're honest, you probably don't either yet. Before you build an offer, there are 3 things that have to exist. First, you actually need to know your customer in detail. It's not like, oh, it's SMBs with more than 50 employees, or yeah, it's coaches who struggle to scale. The definition is useless because you don't really understand what's really going on inside your customers. You need to understand how they work, how they think, what overwhelms them, where they get stuck, and what they're afraid of failing at. And you only get that by talking to them, having real conversations. I would minimum do 25, and not by asking them about their opinions and what they think, but exploring what really happened when they started thinking about this, when they decided to consider your offer, and then what made them consider it and what almost held them back. And if you do that with 25 people, you can create a whole tree of problems that they were facing that in the end made them buy. And this tree, the deeper you go on the branches, the more detailed and specific the problem is. And that is great input because it allows you to then translate that into copy and into your offer eventually. And I will leave you this document in the description below on how to master customer interviews and how to build a tree like that. If you listen long enough to your prospects and customers, patterns show up, and you will be able to create a problem tree from all these interviews to understand what the biggest leverage is for them that you can impact. The second thing you need is a delivery roadmap. I show you one. If I want to help a business to grow to $10 million profitably with AI-powered marketing engines, I first do an audit. I then understand what's the offer that would appeal to their perfect client. I then create the marketing around it, the strategy, the brand faces, so that the founder could stay faceless, for example, the content and ad engines to drive content that in the end create attention, and then crafting the funnel behind that. And if that's a high ticket item, how to close prospects most effectively into clients to in the end achieve an 8-figure revenue profitably to have a $100 million enterprise. So I know exactly what are the key questions that need to be asked for every single stage, what are the key actions to get answers here, and what are the tools that I use to get the best possible outcome. And then I go through this delivery roadmap to produce results. And from that, I can derive the offer because it's very obvious what the offer is if I know exactly how I deliver it. And that means I'm not selling a vague promise with a $100 million offer based on the book where I'll coach you, we'll support you, but it's a real path from where someone is today to where they want to be. It's very clear what happens in week 1, what needs to be done by week 2. What does progress and success look like after a month? And I can also way easier delegate that. This is important to remember. Most clients don't fail because the content is bad or because your product is bad. They fail because they don't know what to do next. They are overwhelmed. They miss one step. They have analysis paralysis. They fall behind and they disengage wildly and then they churn and leave. And they also don't refer you. That's the issue. So this roadmap is what prevents that. It's what turns knowledge into outcomes. And it's where you see for every single customer where they are on the roadmap and what needs to happen next. And then comes the third step, the one almost everyone skips. You test it manually. You deliver it yourself to 5 or 10 people. You watch where they hesitate. You notice which questions repeat. And you see where accountability drops, momentum dies, where they essentially stop using the whole thing. And only after that, you really understand how the transformation happens and which parts are most important for them. And that's then when you iterate on your delivery roadmap once or twice, and where the delivery gets more effective, more efficient, is less chaotic, and it becomes a real system. And here's where most people try to jump straight to automation and then mess it up. If you automate everything from the get-go, it doesn't fix a delivery which is not dialed in. And simply speaking, it's shit in, shit out. But once the roadmap is dialed in and clear, once you know the steps, the sticking points, and the questions that always come up, that's when AI becomes really powerful and you can start to automate things. And that is where something like UAI actually makes sense. So what's UAI? It's not an AI chatbot. It's a way to scale your delivery. And the main thing it can do is, I call it flows, where instead of your clients or customers ask questions, it takes your customers from A to Z through a flow. Let's look at what happens today, which is the bad side of it. If you ask AI, GPT, Claude, doesn't matter, for a training plan, and you say you have limited time, you want to have it effective, it gives you a result instantaneously. But that's not good. And not what a real coach would do that you would hire and pay a ton of money. Because the coach would ask you, hey, how fit are you? How often have you done sports recently? What are your goals? And why do you actually want to do sports? Why training has been hard for you so far? Do you have any conditions? And from there, the coach works out what will help you to take action and to succeed. That's what UAI does. It's a client coach that works based on flows to bring you from A to Z and not to do Q&A. And that's how you fix real problems at scale. You fix your weak retention, you fix low course completion rates, and you stop clients doubting whether they will succeed and what to do next. And when delivery is supported like that, offers become more valuable, conversions go up because prospects believe that they will actually get results, and retention improves because people don't get lost anymore and then they refer. You also get obviously more testimonials because clients finally finish what they started. But again, none of that works if the foundation isn't there first. So once you know who you help, what problem you solve, and how transformation actually happens, then you build the offer. And that's the point. You're not guessing. You're using the exact language your customers used in those conversations. You're packaging it in a delivery system that you've already proven that it works. And that's why it converts and why it scales. It's not because you read that book. It's because you build it from a real customer problem. And when you do it in this order, everything compounds. And your offers convert better, delivery actually work, clients succeed, referrals flow in, you grow without the constant feeling that one bad week could break everything. When you do it offer first, the opposite happens. You sell something you can't fully deliver yet, clients don't get results, testimonials don't come, or you just make them up, and you're back to pushing traffic, trying to fix a delivery problem with more marketing and more sales. This is where I disagree with Hormozi. And it's not because he's wrong. He says, offer first because you already knew delivery. And you don't know yet how to do it efficiently and effectively to deliver an irresistible offer. Because an irresistible offer is delivered differently than the product that you're selling today. And I didn't know that either. If I could talk to my younger self, I would tell him this: stop trying to sound impressive, stop trying to be salesy, stop stacking value on paper, go figure out how results actually happen first. Talk to customers, build a delivery roadmap, test it manually, then package the offer. And once you do that, Hormozi's frameworks actually work. And once delivery is clear, tools like UAI don't just save time, they make your offer stronger, your clients more successful, your business more scalable and profitable. But it always starts with delivery. And you start by interviewing your ideal clients, and your offer is derived from that delivery map. If this made sense, the next question is obvious. How do people at the very top actually solve this? I spent 6 figures to sit inside a closed-door workshop where founders bring these exact problems into the room. I documented what really happens behind closed doors in this video right here, so make sure to check it out.